Known for its rich marine life, the Philippines is a hotspot for marine biodiversity. Our coral reefs are home to hundreds of species, all of which work in harmoniously and thriving environments. Over the past decades, however, these ecosystems have been suffering greatly in the face of climate change and other human impacts. Over time, the damaging effects of these impacts could cause the worst possible outcome, and we'd have to say goodbye to a crucial part of our ecological community.
Coral reefs play a very important role in the Philippines. We are an archipelagic nation. We rely so much on the ocean for our food, livelihood, tourism, and coral reefs play a very important part.
Coral reefs are very important for coastal protection, to protect our coastlines from big waves caused by tsunamis or storm surges.
They also serve as a shelter for numerous species, and most of those species are the food sources like fish, crustaceans that form a regular part of the diet of Filipinos.
We spent 3 years visiting over 400 reefs, and we found that we have lost about a third of our corals in the last 2 decades.
And we're continuing to see the remaining reefs under a lot of stress from climate change, marine pollution, solid waste, trash, tourism, overdevelopment across the entire country. Because of all the stresses, all the pressure that coral reefs are under, there's also been a growing effort to look at methods to rehabilitate or restore coral reefs.
There's a lot of efforts over past few decades to set up marine protected areas or fish sanctuaries. These are parts of our sea that are set aside essentially to allow them to regenerate. But lately there's also been a lot of efforts to try and rehabilitate reefs using so-called fragments of opportunity.
Breaking off pieces of coral from live coral, or collecting pieces of coral that might have broken off accidentally and collecting those and replanting them.
And reattach them in an area of interest with the idea that if the corals come back, the reef will heal itself.
In some cases, maybe we're putting up these projects in an area where the conditions are not conducive to coral reefs.
And our studies reveal that there's simply not enough fragments available.
So that can subject healthier reefs to stress because people are basically, damaging those reefs by collecting live coral. All of the efforts have the right intention. The efforts are noble. Organizations who go into these projects often do it with the aim of protecting reefs, creating reefs for the future. So there are numerous criteria, numerous conditions that are necessary for a healthy reef to start and to flourish. And without a proper understanding of those conditions or a proper analysis of the existing conditions, those efforts might just end up being a waste of time, money, and effort.
We have to couple our good intentions in helping the reef with as much knowledge and understanding as possible.
We need to figure out what we can learn from nature. And one thing that nature tells us is, left alone, it will recover. We need to do a better job of sharing the uniqueness and importance of our coral reef ecosystems.